All right, and we're live here once again at the Jackie Jones Show here at IYH Wrestling, also known as In Your Head. And I'm live every Wednesday night following AEW Dynamite for the AEW Dynamite post show. It's going to be good stuff here. This is a quick recap of AEW Dynamite that we just watched. And don't forget, Tuesday nights is In Your Head, our regular show. Usually me and Inchman when he decides to show up. When he's not, who knows what the man's up to. But tonight it's just me. All right. But anyway, so let's get right to this AEW Dynamite. Just yesterday, though, on the show was Sunny, the California girl. One of the original gorgeous ladies of wrestling from Glow. Not just like hitting on the woman. See what I'm saying? All right, here we go. So let's see. The show open. I got my notes here. Show open with Sammy Guevara and MJF teasing the dissension. MJF wants to join the inner circle. Sammy and I forget which one it is. The other one of the guys from Proud and Powerful don't want him in there. Jericho, he's iffy, and the other guy is on the fence. I don't know what Hagar thinks. He's off training for the MMA. So MJF, he's accompanying Wardlow for the semifinals in the tournament tonight. So it's Wardlow versus Adam Page. To me, it's an excellent match. Good physical match between, two pretty big guys. I know there's some people on the Facebook group, they're like, Wardlow's not big enough like physically to play the big man. But the thing is, it's professional wrestling. So to me, most of it is in the presentation. And he presents himself as a big guy, carries himself as a big guy, and they protect him as a big guy. So it totally works for me. I personally enjoy Wardlow better than Brian Cage. And I'm not trying to knock Brian Cage, but there's a lot missing from him. Besides, he looks tremendous, but I don't know. I think he should work a little bit more like Wardlow, to be honest. Maybe do a little bit less stuff. So, like I said, physical match. Wardlow does a crazy swanton bomb. He misses it, but it's very impressive looking. I was just talking about, Brian Cage should probably work more like Wardlow. So I don't think Wardlow really needs to do like those kind of things, the big spots. But if he pulls off once in a while, and the big match is like versus Adam Page, I get it. They were kind of battling to the top there, and sometimes when they do that, it looks a little hokey because you could tell they're trying to set something up. But Adam Page gave him a big throw off the top rope, was pretty sweet. And then he hits his finisher twice, which I like that. I like that. And I like that he didn't hit the finisher and then Wardlow kicked out. Adam Page just hits the finisher twice for the win. It said, it shows that this is a big dude and it took a little more to beat him. I like that. It's actually very Japanese too, that kind of finish of the two clotheslines. We get an Eddie Kingston promo. Big fan of Eddie Kingston. I'm really happy that Eddie's found a spot on national TV, getting a chance. That's what no matter what you think of AEW, if you don't like it, I mean that's your prerogative. I'm personally a fan, but for people who want it to fail, I don't understand that, because the more places there are, the more wrestlers can make a living. And a guy like Eddie Kingston, who has been around for a while and hasn't had that big shot. I know he's in TNA, but he's never been in WWE or WCW. I know WCW's not around anymore, but AEW is a place where someone like that can shine. Otherwise, he might not have ever got a shot again. And so not only, I don't know what their plans for Eddie were originally, but to me, it really comes off like the guy's really shined in his first appearance, really, and they decided to run with him, because there's other guys who did the match with Cody who we never saw again. But Eddie, they kept using, and now by circumstance, he had the title match with Moxley on TV because I forget who it was, but they were hurt. Or no, they weren't hurt. It was I don't think they tested positive for COVID, but they were around someone who was, so they switched him with Eddie. And I think people were really impressed by the promos there. and which led to Eddie, getting the shot now at the pay-per-view. And to me, it's good stuff. I love the promos. Eddie Kingston comes off very serious, and I like that. I like the silly stuff too. Don't get me wrong. I'm not someone who hates silly stuff, but I like the contrast of wrestling. I like my wrestling to have a lot of different things, and so Eddie's like the serious guy who has a lot of realism in all his segments, and that's good for the main event. Matt Sydal was the opponent. I thought it was a good match. I'll say that, but poor Matt Sydal, he's coming off his debut where he just fell off the top rope, and kind of hurt his shot. Your first impression is you flub the big move. And then I think this is his first match on TV. He might have been on Dark. I don't keep up with Dark. I should, but so this is his first match on TV, and I knew he wasn't going to win because Eddie's going for the title. So it would be dumb booking if he beat Eddie. I don't like the third eye stuff from Matt Sydal. I like Matt Sydal. I've always liked him. I think he's a good fit for AEW. And I like the idea of trying to add some character to him, but not the third eye stuff. I'm not a fan. Jake and his guy were sitting in the crowd watching. I like that kind of stuff. Eddie chokes him out, really just a side headlock, but I like the idea of getting over like a basic move as your finish. Why not? Why do something that really kills you if you don't need to? He won't let it go, and then he makes Sydal, say I quit. It's a little similar probably to some people to what they're doing with Roman and Jey Uso, but I mean, it's just part of wrestling making the guy quit. I like this, but I did feel a little bad for Matt Sydal because I think he's kind of being established as not really important, which, I know not everybody can be a main event guy, but really hot crowd tonight. I noticed somebody in the Facebook group was saying that took them out of the show. I never understand people who don't like the crowd being into a show. I don't get that. To me, it adds to the show. Young Bucks and FTR promo. So building, going into the title shot, they were really, it seemed that the Young Bucks were totally heels now because they were super kicking Tony Schiavone and non-wrestlers. And I think that's a really strange build up to them versus FTR, since FTR are already established heels. If they were doing that, even if they don't turn full on heel, if you would tease that going into a match with another babyface team, that would make sense to me, because then they could play the heels in that match, even if they're not totally heels. And you also kind of tease maybe they're going to turn heel in the babyface. But it's weird, I think, to build that for a heel versus heel team, a heel versus heel match. I don't quite get that. I think going into this, you really should have gone all out with the Young Bucks as the babyface team versus the ultimate heel team. Obviously, it's a match everyone's been wanting. People have been talking about this since the beginning of even before AEW. This is a match people want to see. So the pay-per-view Full Gear is really building for me to a must-see show. A lot of good stuff I want to watch, and the Young Bucks and FTR is definitely up there. This promo didn't really do a lot for me, though. All that said, I wasn't huge on FTR. Walks out. Inner Circle comes out. Hagar's not there because he's getting ready for his MMA fight. Urias Tosh, been looking forward to the Jackie Jones show all week. Well, thank you, Urias. You're a good man. Thumbs up to Urias. I like that guy. He's going places. Out comes MJF. I knew we weren't going to get a song and dance. You can't do a song and dance every week. You just can't do it. Once a lifetime, probably a thing in wrestling, but it's cool. So this was setting up. They're gonna this works for me. Again, this is some silliness, but it works in wrestling for me. Even the last week, if it was just explained to me, in my mind, I would think I wouldn't have liked the song and dance, but on the show, it worked for me. It's still, again, it's definitely not something. And if you didn't like it, I get it, but it was funny to me. So you get Luchasaurus. He does his little shtick about, being he's got a master's degree and all this stuff. It's funny. MJF so he asked him about like the financials, how's he going to help Inner Circle out like financially? And so MJF has got a chart that shows, and I'm always a fan of charts. Back to, Kevin Nash used probably the best thing he ever did in TNA with the chart. So MJF has a chart showing how he's going to do wonders financially for the Inner Circle. Vince Rudo, did you mention the stip for the Young Bucks FTR match? What was the stip? I'm sorry, I might have missed that. Let me know here in the chat. But thanks. Good looking out, Vince. Then we had Britt Baker. I'm a fan of Britt Baker too. This is good. She sticks with her character, and she's talking about MJF, turning before Cody. He doesn't have a good track record with his buddies. We got a good line by Jericho. I'm not a dipshit like Cody. I got a kick out of that. And then MJF was saying, I'm gonna get a lot of green and a whole lot of gold for Inner Circle. I liked all this so far. You had the librarian, whatever his name is, come out, and Pete something, and he just asked if he could be part of the Inner Circle. Again, this got a laugh out of me, and they got a laugh at everyone on there. They just laughed at the man. They're like. But they're like, but you're a good guy or something. I dug that. EB, and I was like, was it Eric B? I think whatever they said, EB or Eric B. And I was like, oh man, I thought maybe they were just hinting at this question was going to be sent in by Eric Bischoff, but they weren't going to show him. They were going to ask something maybe that he would ask. But Eric Bischoff came out, so that was fun. And he's kind of kissing up to MJF a little bit, not the whole time, but at the beginning. And he was like, what can you give to the Inner Circle? And MJF just looks at them very sincerely. This is friendship. That was pretty awesome. By the way, I do remember this now. I just didn't write it in the notes, but Vince brought up that if the Young Bucks lose, they can never go for the tag title match again. They did the same thing with Cody, and so far they've lived up to it, where Cody could never go for the world title again. I don't know. I think if you stick by that stipulation, I don't really know what you do. I mean, it's wrestling. You can always work around it at some point in time, but it does add a lot. I mean, it adds something. I probably would have waited for that to, like, in the rematch. Their first match maybe not have any stipulation. It's just really the dream match for the titles and FTR and Young Bucks. I don't think you need anything else for their first confrontation, first tag match. Let's see. So Eric was going on for a little bit. This was good to me. So they were kind of playing off the debates where they were telling Jericho, Tony was telling Jericho to, not to talk over Eric Bischoff while he's got the mic. And then he just keeps going on because I forget, he called him a prima donna. I think Eric called Jericho prima donna. And then Tony just yells at Jericho to shut up. And I got a big kick out of that. It was pretty sweet. So announced Full Gear. It's going to be MJF versus Jericho. If MJF can win, he gets in the Inner Circle. So I'm liking this so far. I like where it's going. It's a heel versus heel match, but I think to the crowd, you're going to have Jericho is the baby. I mean, people really want to cheer Jericho anyway. They're singing to his song. So, I've been saying, and I know other people have been saying it now, but I've been saying since it started, I really see this as going. Eventually, we'll have a Jericho babyface run, which I'm totally for. Because Jericho, to me, is a guy that's always keeps reinventing himself. He doesn't give himself time to get stale, which I think is very smart and has really helped his longevity in wrestling. And to me, honestly, he's got to go up there as one of the best of all time, especially in the modern era. My phone is saying it's not charging here. Excuse me here while I'm checking something. It's good. All right. And then, so then they're also going to do a tag match next week because Sammy and Ortiz, I'm not sure if it's Ortiz or the other guy. I forget the names. I'm sorry. But they're going to wrestle Wardlow and MJF next week because they don't want him in the Inner Circle. So I like this. It's, not everyone's on board on this. Everyone's very, questionable about MJF. So then we go to Cody versus Orange, the match I was looking forward to tonight. Really built this up well. Lumberjack match. I do think Jay Pletz made a an astute observation in the in your head Facebook group. Since the last one was time limit, traditionally, if you do a rematch, which I think the rematch was smart, you would do no time limit. But I'm not sure how the time limit, leads itself to do a lumberjack match. But all that aside, I enjoyed this. I like this a lot because you had both teams had their buddies. Well, both Cody and Orange had their buddies at ringside, and then they also just had straight up heels at ringside. They told a story here throughout the match. I know some people think there's no like a storytelling in like AEW style matches, but I don't think that's true. So, and I also say JR was good on the commentary here because he picked up on things and then let you know. So there was like some subtle stuff that you might not pick up on, but JR's commentary did his job here and let the audience know. So, for instance, Cody's doing the push-ups, which shows that he's taking Orange Cassidy lightly, which was a mistake in the last match. That's what ended up, which a lot of people make the mistakes in the Orange Cassidy matches. Within the storyline is they don't take him seriously, and then that lets him be the underdog, but it lets him come up and hit some hope spots and get over on people who aren't taking him seriously, which I like in the match because it explains why he does some of the silliness. So anyway, Cody starts doing the push-ups and Arn Anderson looks pissed, which I actually didn't even notice. But Jim Ross brings this up. And so this, to me, that added a lot to the match because Arn Anderson is like, Cody, you got to take this seriously. It also, he's supposed to be the coach. How do you do a coach character in wrestling like this? He's out there coaching him. So JR, good call there. Orange did a big vertical suplex. He did a lot of his DDTs, a lot of his, usual stuff. They did some, little funny stuff, but stuff that works in wrestling with the lumberjack. So like the best friends catch Orange when he's falling outside the ring and then help him back in the ring. And then to follow that up, Cody falls, they catch him and then just drop him on the ground. I like all that stuff. Totally works for me. Then they started to actually interfere. Trent, punches Cody. These two guys work together well. Cody works with just about anybody. I think he's one of the best wrestlers in the business now. Dark Order runs in. One of the guys kicks Orange. And then Arn punches Orange. And again, you don't know. So this leads up, to earlier because Arn was upset that Cody was not taking him seriously. And then Arn actually gets physically involved to help Cody win. But all this time, you don't know if Cody knows that or not. So you don't know if Cody is Cody turning heel? Does he know Arn is interfering? If he does, when he finds out, is he going to be mad? It's good stuff, good storytelling to me for the match and for an ongoing story with Arn and Cody. And also, for me, I'm against having Orange lose his next feud after going over Jericho because that was such a huge thing for him. But if you're going to do it, this was the way to do it because it wasn't like he was cleanly beat. It adds some stuff there to keep Orange strong. I dug it. And then they show Darby Allin up in the rafters, well, not in the rafters, but sitting up in the crowd. So this whole thing set up a lot of stuff because you have Darby Allin versus Cody. You have the question does Cody know that Arn interfered? Is there some type of allegiance with the Dark Order because the Dark Order is now a help, in the match? Were they helping Cody or were they just trying to hurt Orange? Well, we see a heel turn with Cody and Arn together. Well, we see Cody and Arn split up. What's next for Orange Cassidy? A lot of stuff set up, and I like that. Thing I'm not huge on is I'm a huge fan of Rusev. So I was really happy he went to AEW because I thought he'd really shine here. Then they saddled him with the super bad guy, and I don't think that guy's terrible, but he's by the way, Vince says that's 3 losses after beating Jericho. Yeah, that's what I was saying. I don't think he should lost the whole feud. One match or something here or there is fine. And he went the distance, which I think works. The time limit, but I don't know. You have all that momentum behind Orange Cassidy beating, arguably the biggest star of AEW, Chris Jericho, the most established star anyway. I really think you should have pulled the trigger and went big with him, but or at least kept him hot. But I wouldn't say anything's like a devastating loss because it's all versus top guys. We'll find out in the long run. If it could hurt him in the long run, I don't know. Character-wise, he might not be a guy that needs to beat everybody, but still, I wouldn't have gone in this direction. But anyway, so we got the best friends. I do think the beatdown itself was good. With it's not Rusev, whatever his name is now, the other guy, and they're like Alan lives on with the broken game system. Now, I was saying I'm good with a lot of comedy and silliness in wrestling, but it comes down to this. It doesn't necessarily matter to me if it's silly or if it's comedic. It's if the comedy's funny or if the silliness entertains me. And this stuff is neither funny nor does it entertain me. I just think, again, Best Friends really coming off a huge, arguably for me, it was one of the best matches of the year. It's going to be in my top 5 anyway. The street fight, and I think that also established them as a more serious team because they had this really hardcore match. And then they lost FTR, which I'm okay with that. But then you put them in this really weird feud with Rusev and this guy over a broken game. I don't know. I know you could argue it was silly feuding over the mom's minivan. But again, just for me personally, that was entertaining. And this isn't. And I don't think. See, the Best Friends work in comedy. I don't think Rusev's a guy in this silliness of comedy. He was a guy that could pull off comedy and serious stuff in WWE. But I don't know. For me, it's a waste of Rusev. I was happy to find out Serena Deeb is the new NWA Women's Champion. I wasn't really a big fan of hers in WWE, but her AEW appearances, she's been very good. And so she was wrestling legit Layla Hirsch from Russia. I'm a big fan of this woman. I don't remember seeing her before. Maybe she was on. She's like short, stocky powerhouse. Someone compared her to Ivan Koloff. JR compared to Ivan Koloff. I think, well, I can actually see that physically, but I thought a better comparison actually would be to Taz, like a ECW style Taz, because she was doing a lot of submission moves. And I like her. I'd like to see more of her. I like this character. I like the short, powerful woman. I dig it. Horrible promo by Serena Deeb. I don't know, either she was reading it and was lost, or she memorized it and forgot it, but very bad. And it was pre-taped. I just wouldn't have aired that because it didn't do any favors, because I like Serena Deeb. I like that she's the NWA champ. I like this match. I like Layla Hirsch, but that promo was really bad. And wrestling is not just about the in-ring performance. In fact, that might be kind of a smaller part, but in today's world, it is a bigger part, but the promo was not good, sadly. So a lot of people shit on the women's division in AEW, but I actually like a lot of them. Let's see here. Sheeta promo. It was fine, but it builds up to she's gonna wrestle Nyla Rose at the pay-per-view. We haven't seen Nyla Rose on TV for a while, I don't think. Sean Spears. I just wrote for some dude. I think they called him VSK. This is just a total squash, which I'm fine with. Just one move. I'm actually a fan of Sean Spears. Do I think he's like a main event guy or something? Not really, but I think he could be like a guy that you could have like, challenge for the title or something, but you're not going to build the cup around him. That being said, though, I remember when they signed him, he was a guy I was like, why would they sign this guy? Like, I saw nothing in him at all in WWE, but I like him a lot. I think he's a talented guy, but he's good for a faction, I think. I think they should do more stuff with him and FTR together, since they're both with Tully. I know eventually there's always rumors they want to do Horseman thing. I'd be fine with him in the Horseman, but even if you don't call him the Horseman, I think just do some stuff together, since they're both the team and him's with Tully. So then he started going after this moose in the crowd, which I assumed was going to be somebody, and it was a Scorpio Sky. And that should be good. I'm a fan of Scorpio Sky, and it seems like AEW is as well. It's a guy that they get behind every once in a while, but never go too far with. I would like to see just a straight up feud with him instead of just a match every now and then. Like to see some more promos. Get behind him. Give this guy an actual, program and a push. By the way, if anyone sends in $10 or more with Super Chat tonight, you will get a Jackie Jones autographed photo sent to you in the mail. If you don't want to use Super Chat, you can PayPal me at iyhwrestling@gmail.com. $10 or more, that'll cover shipping, everything. All right. Penta L0 Miro. L0 Miro? It's a horrible name. I think everyone is aware of this. I know he had to change it because someone owned Pentagon Jr., but he doesn't have to change it to Penta L0 Miro. Just not a good name. Maybe just call him Penta. I don't know. But anyway, he comes out with Rey Fenix versus Kenny Omega. Now, okay, so first of all, people have been negative part of this tournament because they said that it was obvious who's going to be the final two. I defended that because I don't see that as a negative when you give people matches that you built to and people want to see. So for the tournament to end in a match we've been wanting to see, I actually think is smart booking, and I'm totally fine with it, as opposed to doing a tournament and it ends with two people that you've built nowhere to except for the tournament itself. I think this is better. That being said, I think going into this match, I started to see a little bit of the issue. The issue here was I don't think anyone believes that Penta, as good as he is, and as good as this match, most likely is going to be before I started watching it, I don't think anyone thought Penta's going to win, and then he's going to go on to face Adam Page at the pay-per-view. I just said, so if you would have done something even just last week or maybe earlier in the show, where you did like a face-off with Penta and Adam Page to build a little bit of suspense, like, well, maybe he is going to win. That being said, near the end of the match was the only time I actually thought, well, maybe Penta is going to win. But very good match. Just the fact that I really knew Adam Page was going to win did take a little bit out of it, but that's maybe nitpicking. I don't know. But match-wise is great. I do have a little bit of issue with the finish. So, well, first thing, I have a little nitpick. You could see Kenny Omega position Penta's his knees in the back when he did the backstabber. He's setting himself up for the move. I understand it's wrestling, but it was pretty obvious. Awesome package pile driver by Penta. That was pretty sweet, and they showed that many times over. So Kenny's setting him up for the one-winged angel, which is a very cool finish. Penta reverses that and gets him in like the arm breaker and snaps his arm. I thought that was tremendous. The commentators pick up on that, which I think was good of them. And they mentioned that, that nullifies the one-winged angel because now he's hurt the right arm, so he's not going to be able to get the finish on him again. Great. This is good storytelling. The psychology in the match. The problem was then Kenny uses the one-winged angel seemingly without problem to win. I think that was bad for a lot of reasons. I don't think it made a lot of sense of the storytelling of the match. And also, it would have been the perfect time for Kenny Omega to win the match with another move, which then let's say he beats him with the knee trigger or whatever he calls it, the big knee. If he won with that, it's like, well, he can't use the arm. That's been nullified. He can't use the one-winged angel because he hurt the arm. He has to use something else in his arsenal to beat him. If he beat him then with the knee, it makes sense within the match. And then when he's fighting Adam Page, if he hits that knee or whatever move he would use, it's like, wow, this builds up a hot false finish because we just saw him win the last match, the semifinals match with the move. Again, maybe this is nitpicking to me, but these are top-notch talents and just something I think would have made the match better and the story of the match better. But I can't complain about the match itself. Just for me, the finish. So that's about it. So it's building up to when is Full Gear? I think it's November 9th or something like that. Looking forward to it. They've been building the show well. A lot of matches I'm looking forward to seeing. So then we go to the finals of the tournament. Who's going to win this, Adam Page or Kenny Omega? It's two guys that should be main eventing the show. Ever since the beginning of AEW, it's two of the main guys that really started the promotion. If it wasn't for Kenny Omega, probably Kenny Omega over Adam Page, there might not be an AEW, because it was guys like him and the Bucks and Cody, I think, are really the guys that were hot and led to the formation of AEW. They haven't used Kenny Omega to that level yet. They did try with Adam Page to begin with, and I don't think he was ready then, but I think he's really come to his own since then. So even though this match, I think everyone knew who's going to win. The next match, I don't know who's going to win, because it could go either way, and you can't even look at like, well, the baby face is the champ, so the heel win, because they don't really do that in AEW. Sometimes I'm fine with that. Sometimes I do prefer, heel versus baby face match. But so you don't know. I don't know who's going to win. If I bet money on it, I would say Kenny Omega goes full heel and wins. But again, they might be just teasing that and no one goes heel. I don't know. We'll find out. But I'm looking forward to it. They built the match well. And it's they've added to the build of the match, as opposed to just this is a match because the team broke up. Because this is a match because they've advanced in the tournament. And they're also, we're the team, not necessarily like hate each other, but they're no longer tagging. So good show, and built a lot of stuff in the show built to upcoming shows and the pay-per-view. Matches are good. I dug it. Thumbs up for me. I mean, I'm an AEW fan, but I thought it was a good show. All right, let me get to these questions. Fuel Gear, Saturday, November 7th. Thank you, Steven. I thought he would V-trigger his head off his shoulders to finish. I thought so too, like I was saying, Urias. I love when best friends gives us what we want. I agree, Urias. I love that. The big hug. That's it's a spot. It makes me happy. I'm digging it. Jericho could cut a promo with a broomstick. Agreed. He's the man. Tony Schiavone is the best in the business. I agree too. I've never understood the hate for Tony Schiavone, even before AEW. I think a lot of people look at the dying days of WCW and blame that on Tony, but it's like, if you're commentating, a bad product, what are you supposed to do? You can't be out there telling you, hey, this stuff stinks. You have to try to put it over. And before that, he was always one of the best. And I love him in AEW. I think he's the best commentator in AEW and in the business right now. JR, obviously, I'm a JR fan, but obviously there's times, he's not what he used to be. But when he's on, he still adds a lot of drama and importance. And tonight, actually, I thought he added some stuff to the show, like when he talked about Arn Anderson. Excalibur's grown on me a bit. I'm not in love with him, like on a personal. No, but I'm not in love with his commentary. But I don't hate it either. So I don't even want to say I could take or leave him, because I think he's good. But he's not necessarily my cup of tea. But he's better than a lot of people in other promotions. And he's a lot better than that goof that they used to have, who was doing the backstage promos. And I'm not a fan of Taz on commentary. All right, let me get to these questions. All right. So I asked for some questions for the Jackie Jones show. So everybody knows Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern, In Your Head is live here on the YouTube page. So subscribe and hit the bell icon. And then on Wednesday nights, after AEW Dynamite, it's the Jackie Jones show. For the most part, every once in a while, I can't do the show from not home, obviously. This coming week, we won't be alive on Tuesday because it's election day. And we did the show 4 years ago on election day. It doesn't add, it's not a good environment to do the show. So we'll wait. And I'm going to do the show Wednesday next week. It'll probably be more of a traditional In Your Head. I'll open the Zooms for everyone to call in. So Steven, Songman, Lexar out there, whoever, anybody's free to Zoom in. All right, let me get these questions. So just heads up, next week, I don't know if Intro will be here, but I'll be on live after AEW for In Your Head. Owl, I love that MJF calls Sammy little guy when he's only an inch taller than him. That was actually in the Dynamite chat. I'm sorry. I'm trying to find my question. But it was good. I like that too. Big fan of. I think Sammy's a guy that's really took the ball and ran with it, given a shot. That's I think the rub from Jericho's really helped him as well. No Matt Hardy tonight to further the Sammy Matt Hardy thing, but I think tonight was more about the inner circle. So that's good. You don't blur too many feuds at once. All right, here we go. Robert Budzinski, do you pee in the shower? I'll pee on your golden shower. Al, are you tired of AOL's BS propaganda? So if people aren't aware, Vince Russo posted on Twitter, he tweeted out that he was tired of AOL's bullshit propaganda, and he doesn't have the AOL homepage anymore. Who the fuck uses AOL? The hell, dude. Marty Van Buren, would you join the Inner Circle or the Dark Order? The Inner Circle. I mean, it seems like it would be a much better time. And Dark Order, unless you're the main guy, you're just going to get slapped around. That ain't my deal. Tony is GOAT. I agree. The greatest of all time. Could Wardlow beat up Big E? I don't know. They'd have to battle it out. I don't know. It'd be two physical dudes going at it. Your thoughts on Sergeant Slaughter, Stolen Valor? I think we've covered this a lot on In Your Head. I've got no problem with Sergeant Slaughter pretending he's a sergeant. When he actually says, in like interviews out of character that he's in Vietnam, I think it's a problem. I've never been in the military, so you'd really have to ask someone who's actually in the military for their view, I think, to be fair. Which WWE divas would you like to see become AEW wrestlers? Interesting question. I think they use a lot of the women well in WWE. So, like, I don't know, like Bayley and Sasha, they'd be kind of silly to leave. Even Asuka, they've been using really well. Honestly, I think Asuka is the best used Japanese star ever in WWE. And I'm not saying that facetiously. Like, I believe that. So I'm trying to think of a woman that's in AEW, that's in WWE that's not used very well. I'd have to think about that. I don't know, because a lot of them are actually used pretty well. There's some in WWE right now it's getting a push, and I don't know why, but that doesn't mean I want to see them go to AEW. I don't know. I have to think. I'm not sure. No one really coming to mind at the moment. I mean, if they could get any of them, I think it would be a good pickup for AEW. I just don't think any of them, because there, a lot of the guys, have been really misused in WWE, and I'd see why you'd want to leave. But a lot of the talented women have been used pretty well. So I don't think any of them be like, I really got to get out of here. That's what I'm saying. Maybe Ruby Riott. If I'm going to pick one, I'll say Ruby Riott. I don't think she's been used too well. How long until Orange Cassidy gets a Tropicana or Minute Maid endorsement? Not soon enough. Cody's a natural heel who does heel things. I don't agree. I think he's a natural baby face. I think what makes a heel is not the same anymore. But when we had a crowd, I think he was arguably the most over baby face in all of wrestling. Got a lot of emotion out of his promos. I saw him live many times. I witnessed it firsthand, like a true love to the audience. I remember after, was it All Out? I forget the first pay-per-view I went to in Chicago, and he stayed there for like a half hour until the building kicked him out, and just thanking the audience. He even threw his own boots out to the crowd, threw out everything, turnbuckle, everything out to the crowd because it meant so much to him. Have you heard the battle cry into the devil's sky? Nope. Let's see. Nikhil Callahan. Good man. The good man, Nikhil Callahan. MJF versus Chris Jericho at Full Gear. Are you excited for it? I am, definitely. MJF, Chris Jericho, two of my favorites, two of the best, arguably the best heel promos in wrestling. Also good wrestlers. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's a weird match, two heels. I think Jericho will play the babyface, but we'll find out. Another stipulation where Young Bucks have said they won't challenge for the tag titles if they lose to FTR. Do you think they will win at the pay-per-view? I went over this earlier, but I didn't answer who I think will win. I don't think so. I think FTR will keep it, but I don't know what you do then with the stipulation. But I'm not writing the show, so we'll find out. Maybe you do a thing. We'll let you get a title shot, but if you lose at this time, you not only not getting a title shot, you're out of AEW. There's things you could do. It's wrestling. Well, people moan about the town hall meeting setup. Oh, I'm sure they will. There's people out there who just hate AEW no matter what they do and want it to fail. If you don't like it, that's fine. That's your own prerogative. I don't understand watching stuff you hate continually, though. I mean, I don't watch the WWE shows. I don't even say I hate them. I just don't I don't enjoy it, so I just stop watching them. I think people would be a lot more happy if you focus on things you like. It's like that shouldn't even be explained. Like, hey, I really like coffee. So you know what? I'm drinking some coffee. I really probably wouldn't I saw mushroom coffee today and I thought that doesn't sound good. Let's say I had a bottle of pickle juice here and I kept drinking every day for 25 years. I'm like, God damn, I hate pickle juice, but I'm going to keep drinking it every day so I can bitch about it. You'd think, well, what the fuck's wrong with that guy? It's the same thing. You don't have to watch any television show you don't like. More so now than ever. There's so many channels. There's all kinds of streaming platforms. A lot of them are free. You've got podcasts, you've got YouTube, you've got video, you've got so much free entertainment out there. And then you can, if you want to spend money and pay for streaming sites or pay for a movie, whatever. There's so much entertainment out there that you can watch. There's no reason to watch stuff you don't like. If you do, you're choosing to watch something you don't like. And that's on you. Now, obviously, you're not going to like every episode of every show you watch. But if you continually hate something for years, sometimes for decades, and you just keep watching it, there's something wrong with you. You either want to be miserable or you're dumb. Just don't do it. There's lots of stuff I don't like. I just don't watch it. Wardlow lost another big match. Does this decrease his value? I don't think so. Everyone, like I was saying, some of the guys I don't, Orange I think was a big one to keep losing. Wardlow, you can't, everyone can't be undefeated. And I actually think Wardlow losing in the tournament's fine. And I don't see that really as a big loss for Wardlow as much as a big win for Page. And they also did it really well where Page had to hit two of his finishers to beat him. So I actually think that was a perfect loss. Who will Brody Lee feud with when he returns? That's a good question. So does he come back and maybe we'll see what happens with Cody and Darby Allin. He could come back and try to get the title back from Cody. That would make sense to me. Are you happy to see Eric Bischoff cameo in AEW? Yeah, I'm a big fan of Eric Bischoff. I think he's great on air character. I'm good with them using him a lot. Or, occasionally. Will Hobbs join Team Taz? Interesting. I don't think so. I'm on the fence on him. I kind of, when I first saw him, I was interested. I didn't think his match with Brian Cage was good at all. So I'm undecided at the moment on Will Hobbs. Did you enjoy the TNT title match? Yeah, definitely. Would you rate tonight's Dynamite out of 10? I'll go 8. What did you have for dinner? I had what did I have for dinner? Oh, I had a chicken leg quarter, so a thigh and drumstick roasted, drying the thigh and drumstick, and I had roasted yellow squash, Brussels sprouts, and a carrot, and a baked purple yam. Thank you. Well, thank you, Nikhil. You're a good man. Kai Spires, why did the Army Man not allow dick sucking in his house? And Al Oop corrects him and says it was not an Army Man. He was actually a Navy seaman. There will be no semen in here except for semen. This, I think, was what he was going for. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's in the archives. It's in the archives. What was his name? Something Neil, right? He's the all tattoo guy. All right. Tyler Stevens, what do you think about Mr. Kennedy? Interesting. I always was a big fan. I honestly thought Mr. Kennedy was going to be the next breakout superstar of that era. I saw him as like the next like rock level. I honestly thought he'd be like the next rock level guy. Obviously, it didn't take off for him to that degree, but I don't know what to think. What happened? You know, people say a lot of politics there, but I think he had all the tools to be a big star. It's too bad he's not a little bit younger now. Maybe he could have a shot in the AEW. And not only younger, but he's a lot of injuries, I believe. Marty Van Buren, why would NWA take their title off a huge rising star like Thunder Rosa? I mean, that's fine. I think Serena Deeb's really good. I mean, you lose the title, then you win the title, then you're multiple-time champion. That's fine. Maybe she won out of their contract. Maybe she's going to sign with AEW. Maybe she's going to sign with WWE. Maybe she's going to sign somewhere else. I don't know. Jesse Neal. There you go. Jesse Neal. Well, you put Van Buren on your write-in candidate this election. I did not. I've already voted. It was funny. So I voted. A lot of my local stuff for Sandwich were Cape Cod, like the Barnstable district. There was only one candidate. So it was like you either vote for them or you write in somebody. It's like, well, why is there even a vote? Who would you like to put into a grinding headlock? You, Marty Van Buren. Who would you like to pee outside of 1-inch biceps, your rural West Virginia farmhouse at night when no one's around? No, I'd want to do it when he's there. I'd like to just show up, walk right up to the front door, knock on the door. I'm like, I'm here at the biceps home. Papa biceps, mama biceps, 1-inch biceps, brother biceps. Come on out. I'd unzip the pants, just whip it out. All the West Virginia animals, the bears, the squirrels, the raccoons, the skunks. I want them all around. The beavers, I want them to know this is my territory. I want the biceps family to know. Just whip it out. And I just spray the front steps. It'd be like a sprinkler. Just spray down the steps, the door, maybe looking out the window, mouth agape. Then I just walk away. My house now, bitch. Laquan Vanderpool Higgins. Is AEW worse or better than a year ago? Well, I really liked it then. I really like it now. I can't say anybody's better now because you don't have the crowd. So, and I can't blame anyone for that. Voting is cool. There you go, Urias. Vote. Go out there and vote. Today was the last day you could mail in your vote, so now you have to do it in person. You could still do the absentee ballot, but you got to go drop it off. Just look it up. There's a lot of places. There's one by me that I walk by every day, and that's how I set mine in. Walked by and dropped it in the ballot. Or you can, on the 3rd, find out where you vote. Why aren't Lucha Bros champs? I think it's because they don't have the titles. Because FTR are the champs. And Anastasio Theodosiadius wants to know, will I join his cult? Absolutely not. Something wrong with that man. And it's to think he was a gimmick. That he's, faking being such insane guy. But I've come to the conclusion he's just insane. Insane or on crack, or probably has probably a bad combination. I mean, it's probably a bad combination, crack and any frame of thought, but if you're already insane and then you start doing crack, boom. So I want to use, I got to get permission. If I can, I'm going to make a PSA video for In Your Head to use Tazo as our poster boy to stay off drugs. All right. In Pennsylvania, you can send in the mail-in ballot up to 3 days after the election. How does that make sense? I don't know. Then you can send in and just throw it away. I have no idea. I assume we're not going to know who the president is for a while, no matter what happens. It's going to be hopefully not bad times, but I foresee it as a lot of bad stuff going on in the coming weeks. So everybody out there, stay safe. Wear your mask, wash your hands, and also stay safe, in the coming weeks. If things, go crazy, especially in the big cities. Want everyone to stay safe. So we live in very strange times, folks. Wearing a mask it's not a big deal. Especially if, I understand if you work somewhere and you got to wear the mask all the time, it's a bigger deal. But if you're somebody who only needs to wear it when you go into the 7-Eleven or the Walmart, don't bitch at the people working there. They've got to be there all day. You could put your mask on for 5 minutes, go in and buy your Slim Jim, and leave. It's not a problem. I walk miles every day. I don't have it on constantly. Have it around my neck. I see people off in the distance. I pull it up. Most of them do the same. I walk into where it's more a public place where there's a lot of people. I put up the mask. It's not a big deal. It's a very little thing to do to try to keep your fellow man safe. It shouldn't be politicized. It shouldn't be, oh, you're a damn lefty communist if you got a mask and they're going to control us. Control us to what end? Oh, the evil social demonic Satanists, socialists, they control us. They've won. Now we've got to wear a mask into Walmart. Whoa. I mean, it's just stupid. Just wear a mask. It's not a big deal. You're making it a big deal. And other countries think we're morons. All right. Well, anyway, I'm trying to keep that all off in your head because I know I'm in the minority within the In Your Head community. But I'm going to get out of here. Thank you, everyone, for watching. I agree with that. Cucks don't wear masks. There you go. So until next week, this is Jackie Jones. I will be live twice tomorrow night on Thursday for Without Your Head. Once at 5 p.m. Eastern, we're going to have a live makeup presentation with Hollywood makeup artist Alexandra Bayless. That's going to be very fun. A friend of Trista Robinson, my co-host on Without Your Head with Terrible Troy. That's going to be sweet. Neither of us know, Trista or Troy. None of us know what she's going to be doing, but she's going to be doing very cool makeup. She has awesome makeup. If you check out her Facebook, check out the banner too. I put some. She's been doing 31 days of Halloween, and she does wild makeup every day. So she'll be on at 5 to do a live makeup performance. That's going to be very cool. And then at 8:30 at night, we're going to be joined by Rockafet Abigail, who is independent horror director. And we're going to do our 13 costumes that we would like to wear for Halloween. It might be kind of silly. It's going to be fun. Check those out on Without Your Head over on the Without Your Head YouTube page, or go to withoutyourhead.com/live every Thursday night. And subscribe to all those. All right, I'm going to head on out. If you guys would like to, well, definitely subscribe, hit the bell icon. If you'd like to donate to help cover expenses and equipment, the show isn't cheap to run. There's a lot of to pay for the website itself, unlimited hosting, pay for unlimited Zoom. There's lots of stuff, gear. Microphones, webcams, bookshelves, a lot of stuff. So if you guys would like to donate, help out the show, there's a PayPal link on the website iwatchwrestling.com, or just PayPal iwatchwrestling@gmail.com. And if you send $10 more, I'll send you an autograph photo for being a nice guy and helping out the show. All right. And if you can't donate, very cool. But help out the show and share it on your social media. Share it on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, wherever it is. Help you like the show. Help build the audience. Get the word out there. Help spread the head. All right. I'm Jackie Jones. This is In Your Head. This is the Jackie Jones Show. And I'm heading out. I will see you guys all very soon. Good night, everybody.